Well, speaking of baseball and forgiveness, so Oakland Athletics just fired their play-by-play broadcaster, Glenn Kuiper, on Monday. Or actually, yeah, because did you see this clip of what happened?
No, I didn't see it.
This happened in Kansas City. The A's were playing in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And he was Kuiper and the color commentator, Dallas Braden. They were just talking to the camera, talking about fun stuff they did before the game while they were in Kansas City. And this is the clip.
We had a phenomenal day today. Nigger League Museum and Arthur Bryant's Barbecue.
Wow.
So,
Wait.
quite the slip up.
He wanted to say Negro League?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so.
We had a phenomenal day today. Nigger League Museum and Arthur Bryant's Barbecue.
Brutal. Obviously, he had no idea he said it.
No.
Big smile on his face as he kept going.
It's got to happen. I mean, Negro, N-word, like, it's just gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of those two guys, though,
But-
the other
yeah.
guy looked like a January 6er.
Yeah, it came from the guy,
Yeah.
guy you're least expecting.
The other guy looked like either a January 6er or the guy who does the Scott's Lawn fertilizer commercial, the scariest red-bearded man
Yeah,
in the world.
100%.
Just gets out there and starts yelling at dandelions.
Yeah.
Right.
We're going to end you son of a bitch.
But now, do we? Here's my whole thing, and this is an issue, but it's kind of a two-way street. For me, motivation is everything all the time. It's always about motivation.
Intention.
matter.
Intention and motivation. So obviously he screwed up, but then other people would go, "Well, that's what he's thinking."
Or he must say that all the time. It was so natural for him to say it. Like,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
but, I mean...
But
like,
also, I wouldn't even want to put myself into that position. Like if somebody said, "What do you want to do all day? You want to go to the Negro League Museum, or you want to get some soft swirl ice cream?" I'd be like, just get the soft swirl.
Let's just get,
I didn't want to.
where black and white is together.
Right.
The mixed. Yeah. That guy's a vanilla guy. I can tell it. I looked into his eyes.
So
and maybe
a vanilla
he's like,
swirl.
He went to the museum. Maybe he saw the word in a bunch of places at the
Yeah,
museum because it's like a history.
Could have been the signs that were held up in the stands back in the day when Jackie Robinson started playing. Yep.
Well, okay, so anyway, that aired, and then in the sixth inning, I don't know when those initial comments took place, but in the sixth inning, he apologized on air. So we can watch that.
You know the worst part? I'll tell you the worst part of life, which has happened to me a few times, and ended up happening to me with The Tonight Show and Queen Latifah and Lyman Dykes, and it was a long story. But the worst. Let me tell you the worst part of life. It's the dawning of life, the dawning of the information, like the dawning of the part. You know, like I've always said, like the worst part about getting your car stolen, it's not when you know your car is stolen. Because when you know your car is stolen, you snap into something. You go like, "Oh, I got to call the insurance company. Oh, I got to call my wife. Oh, what was in the car? Oh, shit. Okay, I'm insured. I see. Who do I call first? I'll call the cops, and then I'll call the insurance company." You're like in mode. And then moments before that, you just go like, "I thought I parked my car under this sycamore tree. How come? Where's it?" That's not the way. The worst part of life is when it dawns on you. Like when you go, "I parked my car right here because I remember that there was a..."
Yeah.
Like that moment. And there's some point. So this guy's just sailing through the show. And then like at some point during a commercial break between the fifth and the sixth inning, like somebody comes up going, Did you know what you said? And your first thing is just denial. It's like, "I didn't say, no, I said Negro League. I didn't say that." And then they go, "I want to show you the tape." That's the dawn.
Yeah.
That's a dawn moment. That moment of like when they go, "I got to show you the tape." Because your first thing is, "No, I wouldn't say that. I didn't say that. No, let me show you the tape." That's the dawning moment.
Well, people, I mean, I remember there was a very, no pun intended, off-color comment that was said about Allen Iverson on CBS when he played for Georgetown, you know? He was unbelievable. I mean, one of my favorite players of all time.
Good in college?
What's up?
You're saying he was good in college?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
All right.
It was awesome. He
thought he blossomed as a pro.
I never saw him play pro.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm kidding. But I loved him at Georgetown. He was just awesome, and he was so athletic, and we'd never seen a guy with that ball handling ability, I feel like, in the modern game. And there was one game on a Sunday on CBS, I believe, I hope I'm getting this right, where he went through, I think it was Syracuse, like 3 or 4 guys, and he got bumped by all of them, and he still made the layup. I mean, it's an unbelievable highlight. And I'm almost positive that the announcer said, "Wow, that is one tough monkey." On air. And then he was like, "No, I just meant that he was tough." And the other guy's like sort of helping but not taking his side in case the ship's going down. And you're just like, "Oh my Lord."
Yeah. Howard Cosell called Washington then Redskins wide out a little monkey and got into trouble back a million years ago. But he had a pretty plausible explanation. He said he calls all his grandkids little monkeys because they just like run around.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah, it was
the way the
perfectly
guy-
innocent.
yeah. But anyway.
But here's the apology.
Oh boy. See how the Scots guy.
He's like, as soon as it went dead, he was like, "Did you just realize what you just said?
the Scots turf.
We're
builder
going to be
guy.
fired. You're going to be going like a dandelion here in a second." He goes, "What did I say?" He goes, "You know what you said."
The Scots turf builder guy's the scariest guy on TV. I don't know if he's a pro wrestler. I don't know where this guy came from. I don't know if he's a Jew from New York.
The hills of Hoggestown.
I don't know who that actor is, but he's scaring the shit out of me. Have you guys
It's the guy
seen
who
this
plays
guy?
Tormund on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it is. He's scaring the shit out of weeds.
Yeah. All right. Here's the apology.
Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. I just wanted to, a little bit earlier in the show, I said something didn't come out quite the way I wanted it to, and I just wanted to apologize if it sounded different than I meant it to be said. And like I said, I just wanted to apologize for that.
You don't have a lot of time.
Laureano is the hitter. He takes a strike.
Yeah.
What if he
Worst
then he
day
said
ever.
it again? Like if it just slipped out again. I mean, that was not a very good apology.
It wasn't.
I mean, come
he
on.
may have still been in shock. I don't know, or just.
You guys might have heard it differently than I wanted it to
That's
become.
not-
I'm like,
yeah.
what are you
doing?
talking about?
Get your PR team in here.
No shit.
Yeah.
Not good, dude.
So he got fired?
Well, yeah. So there was a weeks-long investigation.
An investigation.
Yeah, and well, here's the thing. The A's say that the decision to fire him was based on, quote, a variety of factors, including information uncovered in the internal review.
So I wonder if they went through text messages or like things like that he had maybe had in print that they could find.
I think they just say that.
His email is his name at nword.com.
Right.
He's like, that's going to bite you. It cuts back to a
Yeah,
flashback in college. Don't do that.
don't
That's going to
use
bite you in the
that.
ass. He goes, no way, buddy. Not at all.
Yeah.
My band's going to make it.
I think they pad it and say there's other stuff they found. But also, when you go back and review anybody, you always find stuff. This is always stuff.
Right.
It's
Do you think it
impossible.
should be allowed to be used against them?
Okay. I don't like mistakes being used against people, and he made a mistake, and we just got to move on.
He was
the way
just
I
a reminder,
like
he's
it.
the announcer for 2 decades.
Did
Yeah.
he do any other announcement or apology, or that was the only one?
That's the only one I was able to find. I'm sure he's done more.
Meanwhile, the Dodgers are doing trans inclusion night or whatever their
Yeah.
stupid. By
Well,
the
they-
way,
well, they-
their
they-
fans are all drunken Mexicans. I don't have no idea why they do Pride Night at Dodger Stadium. All they have is drunken Mexicans.
Well, they had
That's
a
the
sponsor,
fan.
and I think it was like a pro LGBTQ
Yeah.
thing, and then they stepped away, going, "Oh, actually, we didn't mean to do that." And then they got more backlash, and they came
Yeah,
back.
well,
and
that's what I was-
actually, they're cool with us.
They were going to see the pushback from our fans.
Yeah.
Is what they said. And they were
Nobody
like-
pushed back.
I was like, yeah, who is, I mean.
No, they were doing Pride Night, and then they excluded a group from Pride Night,
Right.
which is these trans nuns
Yeah.
who are basically, I cannot wrap my head around these people. First off, they're the most fucked up, angry people on the planet. Nobody hates their
Trans
dads
nuns?
more than the trans nuns group. They do nothing. It's just a bunch of dudes who are either got molested by a priest or are angry at their stepdad for molesting them. That's That's all this.
And what's the name of that group?
I don't know what the name of the group
It's got to be like none your business, right? Like if you don't have that, you're leaving money on the table.
But they're making a mockery of Christianity, but nobody seems to care about that. Although they should try it against Islam. Step on up, trans guys. Let's do a trans group against Islam. See, mock Islam.
Just
see
all come dressed as Muhammad.
Yeah, just do that.
Yeah,
just do trans Muhammad. See how that works out for you.
They're the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence.
Right. So they got excluded, and then they made a beef, and then the Dodgers did we listened to the fans, except for no fans once tranny nuns mincing about the third base line. But now they're back.
Yeah,
let them all fuck themselves. Let all Bud Light, you guys can do it. Ford, you guys can do it with your gay pickup trucks. Just do it all. Just fucking torpedo your own franchises. Go ahead.
The Dodgers said that it provided that this thing provided them an opportunity to, quote, better educate ourselves, find ways to strengthen the ties that bind, and use
with
our
tranny
platform
nuns
to support all our fans who make up the diversity of the Dodgers family.
Yeah, these people don't stand for anything except for hating everything. That's it.
I've been to a lot of Dodgers games. I'm trying to think of. I don't even read. I guess I don't see any groups going. I just see a bunch of drunk fans.
Where's the tranny nuns?
I don't see anything.
I've walked into the stadium, not spotted a tranny nun in the beer line, and just left.
You're like, this is no place for me.
Yeah, not me and my children.
Not in my America.
I need crazy guys dressed up as tranny nuns. Otherwise, I'm out with weird sparkle paint on their face. No one really makes fun of all these people like they should. They're all damaged goods. They're all a fucking mess. Any 53-year-old guy spray painting his face like Kiss, putting on the flying nun.
So they dress
frock.
like nuns, and they have. What else is about them? That's just it. They're just in.
Well, yeah,
they're in nun face.
They hate Christianity. Is basically what they do.
Right. Yeah. So now Dodgers are getting it from the Catholic groups.
Good.
So
just stop having group nights of everything. Get back to fucking bat night and pillow night. Yeah.
And steroid night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. So the
sponsored by juice companies.
Since we're talking about apologies, let's go back to 2020 just because this makes me laugh. But remember Tom Brenneman, who was on the Reds. Also, by the way, this happened in Kansas City as well, when he had a hot mic. But they were like just showing the field, but his mic was still hot, and he called San Francisco one of the quote one of the fag capitals of the world. And
statistically correct, but yeah.
But yeah, you can't say that. And so they heard it, and this was his apology, and it's such a great call.
Well, all right, let me say this. What you need, because I've heard a lot of these apologies. What you need to do is pre-record 4 apologies. You have a black community apology. You have a general people outside of the white ethnicity one that'll cover for that. You have a gay one. And you have one like, no one will demand it, but if you made fun of a religion or something like that, you just have them canned. I mean, they're like 15 seconds. You've got your script on. There's no ambling or mumbling. Like if some people heard certain things that may have been different than the things where I was thinking, then maybe that's just something, and then you just roll it. Like when the first day on the job, you show up a half hour early, sit down and lay it down, because the problem with the play-by-play guys, they have to shoehorn their apology in between a commercial break and the beginning of the inning. So they go, if I've offended anybody of
That's
the
what I thought it was gonna be.
LGBT community, from the bottom of my heart, Sanchez goes into the stretch. He takes a look over first base. Now he's walking over to first base. If I've heard any of the feelings, my daughter is a member of the trans community. Okay, he's taking a look. 3-1.
I thought that's what it was going to be.
3-1 offering.
It's kind of heading that way, right?
They have to go right into the fucking play-by-play, which fucks up the
Well,
the
also,
apology.
I'm glad you're talking about that.
Because this has to be what happens.
This is what happens.
Well, he goes, I'm sorry if I apologize to no balls, all strike. And then you're like, what is he apologizing, or is he talking about the game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but also, you got to think about the amount, because I totally agree with you, the dawning on something.
Right.
That it's like right away, they go to commercial or whatever. Maybe it's a short commercial, and then, because obviously they speed up the game so much more now, that it's like, okay, you just said this on air. We're about to come back. You have to shoehorn it in for like 5 seconds, come up with something immediately. PR didn't help him, and get back to the game before the pitch comes out.
Right.
Yeah.
So he just comes off insincere like an asshole.
Right, but it's the shock from the dawning. Like, I mean, I've had that. Have you guys ever just texted the wrong person? Like, oh man, Julie's being such a bitch, and sent to Julie.
Right.
Oh fuck. Yeah. So anyway, here's Tom.
I sent Julie text that said Chris is a douche.
I get those texts from you all the time.
Oh,
wait a minute, different Chris.
All right, here's Tom Brenneman in 2020. It's great.
I can't tell you how much I say from the bottom of my heart. I'm so very, very sorry. I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run.
Get a homer.
Poor guy couldn't have just taken a pitch.
Ball game. I don't know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again.
Yeah, he goes on longer. But
listen, that is smoten by God.
At least it wasn't the top of the inning.
From the time he started his apology to the guy hit a round tripper was less than 4 seconds. I mean, you just want him to take ball low, ball too low or whatever, and then you can get on with your apology. It's going to take a while. And also, the real victim here is not the gay community of San Francisco. They know who they are. The real victim is the guy who hits the home run.
Well,
that could have been his first home run in Major League home run or whatever, and he's got a guy apologizing to the gays.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens off mic. Like, he thinks it's off again, and he goes, "Are you fucking kidding me? That guy had been throwing balls all night, and he hasn't hit. And then the one goddamn time I have to apologize, like, you're still on." He goes, "All right, I'm out of here."
Yeah, just wait till like the relief pitchers warm it up or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a classic clip, super famous on the internet.
I love it.
How awkward it is.
I love how the best part about him is his timber's the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I want to apologize, and I'm never ball out to left field, and it's like it's the same.
That's just that's his broadcasting voice. He knows nothing else now. But also his apology was weird too. He's like, I want to apologize to everybody to the men who signed my paychecks. That was a weird line.
He's cutting to the quick though. That's who he needs to get on his good side.
The almighty dollar.
So he got sent to the Roberto Clemente League in Puerto Rico to call their games. He did get canned. So that's what he did. He was doing the Roberto Clemente League in Puerto Rico. And then a streaming service who streams high school games in the country hired him. So, yeah.
Wow. He's just doing clan games now. He's doing the clan league.
Pretty much.
Everyone's wearing white. Everyone's the home team.
Yeah, can't differentiate the teams. All right, so let's go now to another story in Washington, D.C. So the word U-Haul was trending last night.
U-Haul,
and I was wondering what happened. So a 19-year-old Missouri man accused of driving a U-Haul truck into a security barrier at a park across from the White House. He made incriminating statements that led investigators to believe that he was seeking to harm the president, officials said Tuesday. So this was shortly before 10 p.m. last night. He was just ramming into a barrier at this park. So the truck was seized, and they found a Nazi flag in it. And so the charges against him. By the way, he's an Indian guy, like an Indian teen from Missouri.
Well, Missouri, like American Indian or Eastern Indian?
No, Eastern Indian. Yeah,
I would have gone with Eastern, but you said Missouri, and it made me think maybe.
It's weird. It's just weird already. So,
well, look, there's plausible deniability to the Nazi flag in the U-Haul because you go, maybe they just moved out. Hitler Youth was like the last person who rented. Like you found that in Grandma's attic.
Yeah,
that was over the cab. I didn't search the cube truck before I rented
that would be
it.
amazing if that was the only thing in there. There's nothing else in the U-Haul except a Nazi flag.
Well, they like the guy who rented the truck before was a neo-Nazi.
I didn't check the back.
Had it folded up in the back of Grandma's attic up there.
Looked empty. Just glanced at it. Looked empty.
I thought that was a security blanket.
Yeah, no, it was a packing blanket.
Blanket.
What were you packing? Burning crosses. Oh, okay, buddy.
So the charges against him are for allegedly, quote, threatening to kill, kidnap, inflict harm on a president, vice president, or family member.
At the park across the street?
Yeah. Also charged with assault with a dangerous weapon. And the dangerous weapon is the truck because there were no weapons or explosives in the truck. Mm-hmm. So anyway,
did he drive it out from Indiana?
From Missouri?
Missouri?
Unclear. I don't know. They're still trying to figure out the exact motive, but I guess
That'd be funny renting it in Missouri, I'm going to D.C., and they're like, every U-Haul is leaving D.C. and going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, that's where that should have been the tell.
Yeah.
You're
Missouri license plate?
Nobody.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to rent a U-Haul in Texas and drive it to California. Hold on, buddy. You're going to try to kill the governor? Like, we've not rented any U-Hauls. There's nobody moving into D.C. Everyone's moving out of D.C. So that's on the U-Haul company who rented it. That should have been a flag.
Yeah.
That's essentially like saying, I want to buy I'm buying a one-way ticket. Remember when the airlines would go like, no two-way ticket?
So
no.
I had that joke about Southwest. By the way, there was a flag, a red flag.
Yeah,
there was. It was a Nazi flag.
Red flag.
But I always say that about Southwest Airlines. I'm like, because they have the 2 check bags for free policy, you know?
Yeah.
I go, I don't trust that many people getting on an airline without luggage. That's terrorism behavior.
Right.
Like if you saw somebody who was really dressed up and then they were like had no luggage, I'm like, oh man, that bitch about to go see Allah.
So the nobody was injured, by the way, and so I guess the guy, he made threatening statements about the White House at the scene, but was quickly detained.
You know, my thought 3 times a day now is just, thank God he's not white. Because if he's white, then it's more nuts.
Of course,
it's white supremacy and the biggest problem, and terrorist threats, and then all the View bitches would make a big deal over it. And now he's Indian.
Yeah,
good. It'll never be discussed.
Well, it's also worth thinking about too. Is he's 19 years old. So he was 11 when Trump was elected. So about half his life, he's known these like crazy culture wars, and that's all he knows. So I wonder like what this next generation is going to be doing, because they only know how hostile everybody's been for the last decade.
Yeah.
I still don't know what his plan was. He's going to the park across the street trying to.
Does Biden frequent that park?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but his exact whereabouts at the time of the incident were unclear.
My favorite thing to do is to watch montages on All Takes COVID, mostly the ladies from The View, governors of all blue states, mayors of all blue states, anyone on CNN or MSNBC, just being wrong in perpetuity. But it's not that they're wrong. It's how much certitude they have about it and how they're smacking their fists on the table. You get this vaccine, you will not get it. You people that don't get it are killing people. All the fuck, every talking head on CNN, every expert, every doctor, everyone, and there's like a 12-minute montage I retweeted, but it is so awesome to watch all these fuckers being wrong over and over again. But then I was thinking there was one, and by the way, you should share this. You should make fun of these people all you can until you're fucking blue in the face of what they tried to do to you. Because you watch these montages, they weren't going, oh, look, it's your body, it's your decision. They were like, you shouldn't be allowed to go to work. You shouldn't be allowed to travel. You shouldn't be allowed in hospitals. Like, they were fucking horrible. But it struck me that one of the montages was the ladies from The View. And they're interviewing a woman who I guess used to be on The View, and she was like a doctor, and she goes, well, I got it, so I got natural immunity now, so I don't need to take the vax, and I think the risk of the vax is higher than getting it. Because I have natural immunity, I'm going to use natural immunity. Now, they lied about natural immunity, and Fauci lied. He didn't lie. When smart people play stupid, understand they're lying. Mm-hmm. When Fauci was like, natural immunity, we don't really know how effective it is. All right, now he's lying. So when smart people don't know things, then assume they're lying. But
so she said this on The View.
I was watching The View ladies who wanted her canceled, and I was just watch it. But here's what I wanted to say about The View. Those yentas get up there every single day with as much confidence, gusto, self-assurance, and bravado as possible, and they're wrong about everything. But think about The View. The View, we'll watch the clip, and then I'll tell you what's crazy about The View.
All right.
It just isn't.
But you made a conscious decision not to get the vaccine.
I also have natural immunity. So for me, personally, this vaccine poses a greater risk than a benefit. I'm also not a risk to any of you. Let's look at the science.
So we see that the natural infection is given greater protection or slightly greater protection than vaccination.
This is a vaccine that was created to prevent severity of disease and to prevent hospitalizations. But the vaccine does not prevent you from getting COVID and does not prevent you from transmitting
Oh my
COVID.
goodness.
Reality, and
No,
we have
that's
seen that.
not so.
No.
Come on.
No,
You've been at Fox
Joy,
TV
you
too
don't have to
long.
joy.
I just really don't think that we should allow
Sonny,
this kind of misinformation.
All right, it's misinformation to be right about shit.
Joy
but,
and
all right.
Sunny, not happy.
But let me just say this about The View. Everything they said about COVID was wrong. Everything they said was wrong. 6 foot distancing doesn't exist. Mask didn't work. Vaccine didn't do any of the shit they said it was going to do. Schools shouldn't have been closed. Everything they said was wrong. Every motherfucking thing that came out of those yentas' mouths were wrong. But that was only about 2.5 years of being wrong. Mm-hmm. Let's not forget, COVID came right on the heels of Russian collusion and the Steele dossier and Hillary Clinton paying for the Steele dossier and all the misinformation that came from that. So they had 3 years of being wrong about Russian collusion and Trump and Steele dossier and the CIA and the FBI. That 3 years being wrong that bumped right into, they took a little break. The Steele dossier dropped in September 2016. They were wrong. I can't remember, Ben, when the Mueller's findings came out that said it wasn't a thing, but they were wrong for about 3 years. They took a little break before COVID, but only like 4 months, and then they were wrong about COVID. So the ladies from The View, the two biggest stories in America, or the two most covered stories that they did for a 6-year period, they were 100% fucking wrong about all of it for 6 years, you idiots. Why are you watching these bitches?
Yeah,
Steele
where's their credibility
dossier,
now?
Russian collusion, Trump-Russia collusion, and COVID are the two stories they covered the most. They were 100% wrong about all of it. So why are you watching them? And the other question, the Mueller report was in April 2019. So it was about 3 years from the dossier to then. And April 2019 or May 2019, they took a little break until the end of 2019. Then COVID came in, and then they got right back on the wrong train and took it in the wrong fucking direction. So who is listening to these people? And where do they get the motherfucking certitude? Then they show up the following Monday. It's like, all right, we're 100% wrong about Russian collusion. We're 100% wrong, although they never think they are, about COVID. And now what is the next thing we're going to launch into with more self-assurance than anybody's ever spoken with?
Well, what you want, I mean, the way that we, like Americans, consume media these days is we want that to happen. We want that to be true, and that's why we watch it, because we want that.
I get it, but you want to listen to people that are wrong.
Of course, that doesn't matter. No, that doesn't matter
That's what
anymore.
I did during COVID. I was like, I'm going to find everyone who got banned, everybody who got deplatformed. I'm not talking about Joe Sixpack who's at a tractor pull. I'm talking about decorated scientists who were deplatformed for opinions they had, and I'll just do what they say. Not what the yentas are saying.
Well, I can't say anything because I'm on my third interview to replace Joy Behar at The View.
I hope you
bringing
got it.
some sense to daytime TV.
They ever get tired of being wrong. That's a 6-year run of being wrong they just had.
But now
Awesome.
is this? But are we blaming them or are we blaming the audience? I mean, how big is their audience that they're still on air? Like the producers,
I believe their audience solely consists of the people that are in the studio audience and people like me who want to make fun of them for being wrong. I don't think there are any other fans.
A lot of their viewership
outside of
is
that.
you, yeah.
Yeah, it's really just people like me wanting to fucking
The
make
Nielsen
fun of
ratings
them.
just say Carolla.
Yeah, that's right. They're just wanting to make fun of them.
Bro,
being
this is the
wrong.
biggest retweet they've ever gotten.
That's right. Ugh.
No, but you see it, like there's some funny clips of them, just not even to do with COVID or with collusion, but just where they won't, like they have their agenda and then they push it on the guest.
Yes.
Like, even if the guest is there like promoting something fun, there's a lot of clips where they're just like
they were hitting on Liam Neeson.
shoving. Oh, they were. Yeah, because of what he said about the baseball bat going out.
No, he just showed up. Liam Neeson showed up. Oh, you didn't see this,
No.
Liam. Oh, my.
I must have blacked out for a second.
Find the clip.
I was on my 10th pint of Guinness.
Controversial. About
I was drinking with the Scotsman.
5 weeks ago,
Oh, this was 5 weeks ago? No, I didn't see this.
Recent. He went on to promote, Taken 16 or something. And they were hitting on him. And he was like kind of uncomfortable. And he later on gave an interview. It was like unprofessional. Uncomfortable.
I wouldn't fuck any of you.
Yeah,
that's right.
He said that he was uncomfortable during the interview.
His wife died in a skiing accident. May she rest in peace.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We have it.
So here's him detailing that interview.
Oh, yeah.
I guess you haven't been here in a while.
Long time, and I was there in the studio.
Yeah.
That's a really long.
the west
We
side.
talk about you so much. I feel like you've been here.
That's what I thought.
No, you talk about it so much. Don't blow my cover.
Joy wants to get taken by you.
I will find you and I will kill you. I love it.
So,
Liam.
Whoa.
Oh, you run it.
Yeah, let's hear a statement about it.
Oh, that's the whole point. That wasn't even the bad part. She was like sniffing him and shit.
Liam tells the mag that prior to his sit-down, he was in the dressing room watching the ladies talk about gun violence in America. During the break, he says he went on stage and praised them for having such an important discussion.
it's not about winning over people. It's about telling as much of the truth as we have.
But when it was time for his segment, things took a turn.
It's no secret that Joy thinks you're the hottest and the greatest ever. And in case there was any doubt, we have a few times she's brought you up over the years. I think we have some video.
He's in this.
I would just like to have my ashes sprinkled over Liam Neeson. For me, Liam Neeson right now, those kidnapping movies that he does get me so aroused. I can't even begin to tell you.
It's just all this BS with Joy and Liam Neeson and having a crush. And I've known Whoopi for years and Joy a little bit, but I just wasn't impressed. I'm uncomfortable in those situations, you know?
Oh, I like that. So, Liam, you get hit on.
Well, I wasn't expecting it. I thought we were going to talk about something light, like gun control.
Right. And they're hitting on you and you're a widower.
I was there to promote a movie. I wasn't there to promote a movie that Joy has repeatedly emailed me to make a film with her.
Don't you think we could do better in the English language for a description of a guy who loses his wife? We have widow. That works. You know what I mean? The husband died, and then we go, well, what happens when the wife dies? And you go, widow.
Yeah. I mean,
it doesn't sound that creative. Like, come up with a new name.
I've got it. Mr. Widow.
Mr. Widow.
That sounds like a Liam Neeson movie.
That's a Robin Williams movie.
Ho, Mr. Widow. I was out there and I said, hey, where's this guy going? And I said, hey, man, don't follow me down the stairs. And he goes, but he did follow me down the stairs. So I was like, hey, man, let's do this.
It just seems really lazy to just go widow.
Widow. Trump. Widow.
Yeah. All right. What else? Anyway, I knew there was something with the View and Liam.
I do love Liam Neeson.
He's the best.
He is, man.
He's a serious man.
You know what? He
is a little too serious. Like, all right,
they're doing a Naked Gun remake
hitting on you, huh?
They're doing a Naked Gun remake.
Are you shitting me?
And he's playing Frank Drebin.
I'm watching the shit out of that.
Of course. Let's go.
Let's go tonight.
Dude,
camp out. First in line.
5 months or 5 years ahead of that. Yeah. It'd be funny. We're in on the joke. Dude, Liam, I mean, Naked Gun's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, it's great. I love that movie. All right. What else we got?
Oh, let's talk about bad roommates. So this first story I have, this is out of Kentucky. A man was arrested. Police say he shot his roommate in an argument over the final HotPocket in their home. So, this guy's his roommate had eaten the last HotPocket, so he started throwing tiles at him. And then things escalated, so the roommate tries to leave. The guy gets
throwing tiles work.
I don't know. They must have had some loose tiles. Maybe
I just imagine him ripping them out of the ground. Like,
yeah, went full Kool-Aid on the backsplash.
Like Chinese stars. Just like,
So the guy gets a gun as his roommate's trying to leave and shoots him in the butt. So the victim got help a few blocks away, non-life-threatening injuries, and the shooter was arrested about 4 hours later.
I'd be the worst cop or paramedic ever because it'd be like, what happened? My roommate shot me for eating the last HotPocket. Oh, man.
Where did he shoot you? In my hot pocket.
But whose hot pocket was it?
Yeah, right.
They'd
Yeah.
be like, well, it was his, but oh, well, then you probably shouldn't have taken it. Like, I could never be a cop because that's where every conversation would go. I mean, it was his hot. Look, we wouldn't be here now if you.
I can't help it. I'm so
didn't eat
stoned.
His fucking hot pockets. Like, you did. Those were his.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I miss those.
You're always a let him go cop.
Yeah, I'm the let him go.
Let him play.
I'd be the worst DUI cop ever. I'd just be like, okay, man, listen, man, just take side streets. Where are you, Pomona? Yeah, you could take side streets from here to Pomona. It's going to take a while.
Here, give me your Google.
Yeah.
Officer Wilson, we're seeing your quota. You have 0 tickets, but 300 warnings.
Yeah. Well, the guy was a Christmas party.
That's the
Fucking
movie,
old
Fair
lady
Warning.
just left him. Yeah.
So that was one roommate story out of Kentucky, and then there's another one out of Lake Forest. So video showed.
Right. I was thinking to myself, like, why are roommates always bad? Because I've had many a bad roommate.
Yeah.
And it's like, of course they're bad. They're people who need roommates. They're like, especially once you cracked 30.
This guy.
And you're still shopping for roommates. Like, the worst roommates ever are the 52-year-old roommates, because it's not a coincidence that they're all fucked up roommates. You are fishing from a pond that has nothing but fucked up fish in it, because when you're old and you need a roommate, it just means you're a junkie, alcoholic, abusive husband, whatever. Nothing went right.
My friend had a roommate, and the woman was older, and she had dogs, and just let them shit all over the house.
Yeah. The best roommates are people who don't need roommates.
Absolutely.
Matt Damon would make a fucking killer roommate.
I would love to live with
like,
Matt Damon.
where is your roommate now? He's in Prague shooting and won't be back for 4 months. I fucked on his bed last night. You want to watch it? Like, he'd live in a big house. He'd never be around. When he did come back, you could watch his dailies and shit,
Yeah, man.
It'd be Born Supremacy 5.
Watch the Born Supremacy and have him do the audio commentary in the room.
The best people don't need roommates. That's it. And the worst people need roommates. And that's why roommates, when you're like 19, are okay, because everyone needs a roommate when they're 19. Anything over 35, watch out.
Well,
that's a bad person.
The guy who shot his roommate for taking the last hot pocket, age 64.
Oh, perfect.
Was it with a musket? Stay right there.
Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Don't hold on.
Let me get my flint, my powder.
Exactly.
So there's another story. This guy. This was pretty recently, a couple days ago. This was in Lake Forest. A guy crashed his car into a house, got out of the car, and began chasing his roommates with a pickaxe.
Wow.
There's security footage of this.
That's more of a younger man's sport.
Yeah, go ahead. You can just play it on mute. But yeah,
this is him
trying to break into the house.
So he's trying to break into the house. Just breaks the door in.
Broad daylight.
Yeah. And goes to the backyard, grabs a pickaxe. His roommate's in.
He's got a knife.
It's actually the owner too, the who has the roommate. So he's in that room, and this guy's just trying to break in, and he's like, "I'm gonna die now."
Use the pickaxe to break in.
He figures that out.
Here's Johnny.
He should use the broad side of the pickaxe to take the knob off. He's drunk, right?
He looks like he's just hitting it with a handle.
He's not doing a good pickaxe.
What was What was the reason? What was his intention?
They just the deputies, based on the statement and his behavior, just believe he is under the influence of some substance. Yeah, like look at his car. Like there's a.
Jesus Christ.
Here's Johnny.
You need solid corridors.
You need solid corridors.
You need a solid. Oh yeah, this guy's drunk. Yeah, I mean he drove this car hard.
Yeah.
Into this house.
This isn't a scene from Fast and Furious?
Man, he's up on 2 wheels.
Are you excited for Fast and Furious? It's out now, right?
I saw it last night.
Saw it last night.
Both of you together?
That's right.
You didn't call me?
Come on,
I'm a douche?
Best buds.
Yeah.
We're seeing that, and we're seeing Naked Gun together.
Neeson. Yeah, Naked Gun. It's good. It's fun. It's everything. The only part that they're starting to get wrong is Vin Diesel. Vin? Vin Diesel's car, his Dodge Charger and or Challenger, I can never remember. his car has turned into a superhero, which is he used to use his car like a sort of a tool. Now his car is a character in the movie, and it has superpowers.
Yeah, it takes a ton of bullets.
He's like,
impact.
he's like, I'm going to drive off the back of this plane. There's a C-130 Hercules. Just get me somewhere about 80 feet over the highway, and I'll just drive it out of the back.
Momentum will take it
He just
from there.
drives out of the back of it, lands. By the way,
on a truck or in a car. That's what breaks the impact. Remember when he's flying out the back? And it's fine to drive.
And then he's just driving down dams and driving up sides of cliffs. Like, the car has turned into a superhero. And maybe I just know too much about suspension. But, I mean, half the people who live in California have had their suspension fucked up by a pothole. Like, popped a tire, dinged a rim, had a tie rod pop off, fucked up the whole...
Mine did.
From a pothole.
Literally, that's what the guy said. He goes, you must have just hit something.
From a 3-inch deep pothole, he's jumping out. He's firing the car off of dams and off of transport planes and stuff like that, and just hits the ground. It's that thing. It's like, it's kind of the Dukes of Hazzard. Like, the Dukes of Hazzard would launch their car over the bridge that was out, right?
Yeah.
They'd always launch it. They'd do it in slow motion. Then they'd show the car land in slow motion, and when it landed in slow motion, you'd see the suspension bottom out, one of the tires toe in, the other one bent weird, just totally slammed on the ground, and a moment later, they'd pop back into the interior of the General Lee, and they were just driving the car.
Yeah.
So that's what Vin does. Vin drives the car off a cliff, or he'll drive down a cliff or off a cliff or whatever. By the way, he's not in a 4x. Like, he's not driving a trophy truck that to be set up for Baja with like 18 inches worth of suspension travel. He's driving a low slung
it's a lowrider.
street car with like 30 series tires on it. The rims would be flat and the suspension would be destroyed. Like, he'd just land and have to get out of the car if he was able to get out of the car. But now the car has taken over. It has superhuman powers now. Now, when it's Batman's utility belt or Superman's cape. Now, when he gets in the car, and by the way, his car falls. He's in Brazil. He's in Jamaica. He's in London. He's in Prague. He's in Hungary. And he's constantly climbing out of his car. I don't know, his car. I've been to Europe without my car.
Or Europe and then South America.
He's like,
how did he get there?
His car's everywhere.
I'll tell you how. We're doing a crossover with the Transformers.
Family. That's what it's about.
It's about Mishpucha.
Say, Vin, say, I don't got friends. I got family.
Adam, I don't got friends. I got family.
Yeah, that's.
I said, here's my impression of Vin Diesel orgasm. And he goes,
that's how I make more family.
They referred to a picture of Vin. My favorite, I don't know, makes me laugh, makes my son laugh every time because we watch them all together. His wedding picture, he's in a dress wife beater.
I was going to say, got no sleeves. I knew exactly where you were going.
His wedding picture is the best because he's got his wife beater that he wears in the garage. And then he has a dress wife beater, which he gets married in a dress wife beater. Oh, yeah. And they referred to it. And every time I see it, my son starts laughing before I do now because I pointed out to him that Vin is so fucking hardcore with his sleeve action.
None of the outfits got dirty last night.
They never get dirty.
No.
That could have been his wedding wife beater he was wearing on the dam. But
how Scotch guarded is it?
He takes that. He takes that thing to the cleaners, but yeah, I always laughed that he got married in his wedding wife beater.
Very classy.
Yeah, it's been Simonized.
I think it was a entertaining as hell movie, but every line in the movie should have been the last line of a scene.
Yes.
So like everyone has the last line of the scene.
Yes.
There's no setup. It's all punchline.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just come to them and they're like, got to go. And then Vin will be like, we got to get out of here if we want to stay together as a family. And then you think it's going to close. And then Ludacris is just, you think it's going to be credits. And then Ludacris goes, we're going to do that. And then you think that should be the end of it. And then Tyrese has one. It's just everyone giving the last line of it. It's like a Modelo commercial.
It's in their contract. We need. Well,
that's what I said. Everyone, because when him and The Rock got into that whole thing with the punching, they could only each get punched 25 times. And like,
I didn't know that.
There was like a huge dispute with the two of them, and so they're so specific about it. And that's the thing, is there's less speeches in this one, because even when him and Jason Momoa are on the phone, it's like, just hang up. Don't wait for one more line where he was like, you ruined my family, Dom Toretto, I'm going to ruin yours. Should be the end of the scene. He goes, I'll tell you who's going to ruin whose family. Me. And then it's like, you think that's the end of it. And then he's got one more line and you're like, what's just happening right now? It was all like, they go like, let's go again. Let's just go again and like do alts. It's like they kept in every alt. Also, just every alt.
The other thing that's funny too is they do this in every Fast and Furious movie. They'll do the thing where they jump the car out of the plane 80 feet, land on the bridge. They'll do the one where they jump from one side of the bridge to the next side. There was a bust through the guardrail, hit the NOS, have the car wheelie, jump through the next thing. Then they'll do the thing where they like take on the tank and take on the half track. But at some point, they'll be at a cliff. They'll be like on a cliff. And they'll be surrounded by bad guys who are all like standing there holding machine guns with a helicopter over them. And Vin will say to Letty, he'll go, you may want to buckle up. And she'll put the harness on. It's like, I would have had that shit on while we're in the airplane. I got enough reason to put the seat. You're jumping from bridge to bridge.
That should have been the first
We took on a tank. We jumped out of an airplane. The belt would have been on while we were taking off.
He said that to the guy, though. Remember in the back?
Like,
they're going, and he finally puts it out.
Now we're going to
What are you doing? And he goes, I'm preparing for what's coming.
Yeah, now we're driving down the side of we're driving down the side of a 700-foot dam. Buckle up.
Yeah.
I was like, Pops, I had this fucking shit on right when I got in the car.
Dude, the fact that it's not Fast and Furious Whiplash, like, it's crazy. They never wear seatbelts until we have to.
Well, you don't wear seatbelts if you're jumping from bridge to bridge, and you don't wear the seatbelts if you're jumping out of the back of a Hercules airplane onto a highway. It's when you're going building to building in Dubai.
That was amazing, though. That went in Dubai.
The side of a bridge.
So good.
That's when you need to put at least the lap belt on.
Well, you don't want to block the wedding undershirt.
Wife beater.
The wife beater.
All right,
the wedding wife beater.
So you're saying it wasn't as realistic?
No,
as
it's
wanted?
fun.
It's always fun.
It's fun, but I think Jonathan will agree with me that the car cannot have superhero powers.
Right.
The car is just a car. It's a good car. It has high horsepower. Use it like you would use a car. And then I'll go along with you on some of the things a car couldn't do. But it shouldn't be imbued in something with superhero powers.
What about when Vin Diesel lifts the car? Remember what he...
Well, he did that in Dubai, too.
Yeah, he did that in Fast.
Dude, does he have a roid issue?
No.
I mean, like, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But it's fun, man. You're going to love it. I mean, everybody's got... There's, like, some fun pop-ups and, it's just... I don't know.
Yeah. So I should have suspension of disbelief, but I'm just focusing on suspension.
Yeah, literally
exactly.
suspension. Yeah. Literally springs, leaf springs, shocks, and bump stops.
Yeah.
All the suspension components of
great
A-arms.
Yeah, great one-liners, though.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I'll be focusing on those.
Yeah.
Can't wait.